So today, we're going to explore the heart. How did the heart evolve? Was it always this complex? Was it always like this? Well, no, of course not. In evolutionary biology, we understand that things build up in complexity from previous generations. So when we first evolved as invertebrates, we actually didn't need such a complex heart. We could absorb most of the nutrients through our skin in the water. And as the system went, it basically had a tiny little chamber that would push blood through our tissues and then filter it. And it would come back and keep pushing it and filtering it, pushing it, filtering it. There was no blood vessels. It was just a very simple system called an open circulatory system. So then we became vertebrates, or fish. And in this system, it was a bit more complex. Still a fairly simple system, though. Basically, we had two chambers in the heart. We had an atria, and we have a ventricle. And basically, the way this system worked was it had one blood vessel, and it pushed blood through that blood vessel, through our gills, and that's how we absorbed the oxygen. And then it pushed that blood through our body. So next we moved to amphibians, where we became land and ocean-dwelling creatures. So in this system, we have actually three chambers. So two atria and one ventricle. And basically what this did was it separated the deoxygenated blood from the oxygenated blood a little bit. And that way, when the ventricle pumped the blood through the system, we actually had a mix of oxygenated and deoxygenated, but it was better separated. So that means we had more oxygen in the blood than before. So then lastly, we come to reptiles, one step before mammals. And in this system, we actually do have four chambers. We have two atria, one ventricle, and one kind of a wall that's trying to separate the deoxygenated blood from the oxygenated blood in the ventricle. So this system makes it so that the blood mixes even less than before, making it so that we can actually pump more oxygenated blood throughout the system. Now in mammals, we actually have a complete separation of the right ventricle and left ventricle. Now, as reptiles, it is not completely separating them. It's just a little bit of blockade that makes it so the blood separates a bit less. Because of this separation, we have what's known as a four-chamber heart. And it's a beautiful system. It's beautifully efficient, provides oxygen throughout the whole entire body efficiently, and gives us much more ability. Now, does the blood only give your body oxygen? Does it only give everything, your muscles, oxygen? Is that all? Well, no, actually, it gives your body all these different nutrients. It also detoxifies your blood. So, as you breathe in, your blood is actually releasing the CO2 into your lungs so that you can breathe that out. That's a byproduct of the energy making process. Now, I'll go more in depth to how the lungs work and how the respiratory system works in a later video, but for now, let's just go with that. So how does the heart beat? How does that work? Well, basically, it's a process where you have electrical impulses, and just as muscles, when you have an electrical impulse, muscles contract. However, the heart is a muscle. It's a giant muscle. And the way this muscle works is it has these network of fibers that basically are connecting And as electricity goes through, they all contract. And it basically pulls the heart closed, pulls the heart together. And that contracts the heart. It's fascinating. Now it has this lubricant that passes through these networks just to keep it so it's constantly, revitalized. It's crazy. It's really crazy how this happens. Now, the reason you need all this complexity is because the heart beats constantly throughout the day. It never has a break. Other organs, other muscles, they're not being used all the time. So they don't need to have as much complexity. But the heart, it has to be a very efficient system. So now you understand how the heart was formed. You understand how the heart works. You understand the magical power that this organ has given us. It's made it so that we can process things faster. It's made it so that we can grow faster. It made us stronger, made us smarter. This is literally the engine that creates mammals, that created the next step in evolution. And we live with it every day. It's pretty fascinating, if you ask me. Feel grateful for that. Now, why don't you go use your heart and like this video if you got something out of it, if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Have a great day.